Howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak. And he will show you things to come. He shall glorify me, for he shall receive of mine, and shall show it unto you.
Is the female deity, and she's the consort of Qamar, which is masculine, the moon. That means the moon is the high god. Therefore, this suggests that the pagans were calling the moon Allah, because that was their high god, and believed the moon represented Allah, their god, which explains the fascination with the moon symbol. So by process of elimination, Allah must have referred to the moon god.
God saw that the light was good, and he separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning, the first day. God made two great lights, the greater light to govern the day, and the lesser light to govern the night. He also made the stars. God set them in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth, to govern the day and the night, and to separate light from darkness. And God saw that it was good.
The Quran weirdly says that night and day are entities that go into each other, that enter each other. The night is darkness. Darkness is default because we can't see the sunlight. Shadows are just the result of the lack of light. A shadow is darkness, the absence of light. Have you not considered your Lord, how he stretches out the shadow, and if he willed, he could have made it still. Then we appointed the sun as a guide to it. Then we withdraw it to ourselves gradually. The Quran says that the night covers the day, and the day the night, but it further says that the night and the day chase each other rapidly. Narrated by Abu Dhar. The Prophet asked me at sunset, "Do you know where the sun goes?" I replied, "Allah and His Apostle know better." He said, "It goes till it prostrates itself underneath the throne and takes the permission to rise again, and it is permitted. And then a time will come when it will be about to prostrate itself, but its prostration will not be accepted, and it will ask permission to go on its course, but it will not be permitted, but it will be ordered to return whence it has came, and so it will rise in the west." And that is the interpretation of the statement of Allah, "And the sun runs to its resting place." That is the decree of Allah, the exalted in might, the all-knowing. In an additional verse, the Quran explicitly says that the moon follows the sun. The moon doesn't have its own light, that the moon is only brightened by the sun which shines on it. According to the Quran, Allah made the sun a torch and the moon a light. That the moon is already dark by default. It only becomes bright because the sun shines on it. And the sunlight reflects off the surface of the moon, which gives us light at night.
These verses also say God made the stars. But think about that. God made our sun, God made the Earth's moon, and then God created all the stars?
Our sun is a star, like millions that we see in the sky, adornments, lamps, and lights.
And if God made the stars to give light on the earth, they definitely are not lighting the earth. And why are these stars giving light on earth? I thought God already said, "Let there be light." And I thought God already separated the light from the darkness, but now he's making light again?
The night covers the day. Let's look at this again in another verse. Chapter 13 verse 3 tells us that the night comes and covers the day, causing the day to go away. The Quran verse in every translation says that the night covers the day. Imagine this as a veil, the night covering the day and causing the world to go dark.
fools the nations are to rage against the Lord.
There are people who think the Bible should be taken literally. Those people haven't even read the first pages.
From the mainstream Jewish perspective, Jesus doesn't qualify as Messiah because he failed to do any of the things the Messiah was prophesied to do. So he didn't fulfill Old Testament prophecies at all.
For we did not follow cleverly devised myths when we made known to you the power and coming of our Lord Jesus Christ. For we did not follow cleverly devised myths when we made known to you the power and coming of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Muslims believe that a character known as the Mahdi, the Guided One, will appear and will rule with justice and defeat evil. The basic premise is that a guy will come before the end-time events start, and he will rule over the Muslims. He will be a fighter in the end times. According to Muhammad, Jesus will come again. The problem with this Jesus is that this is not the Jesus that Christians know. This Jesus will be quite brutal. He will break the crosses and declare Christianity to be false. He will fight Christians and destroy Christianity. He will also kill the pigs. Jesus will participate in Muslim practices, legitimize Islam, fight the Christians and the Jews and all those bad people, wage the ultimate jihad, and in the end he will blow himself up. Just kidding. In the end he will die, or just wait for us on the imminent judgment day. The Dajjal is probably the most popular sign of the Day of Judgment. Dajjal means deceiver and comes from Masih al-Dajjal, which stands for the deceiving Messiah or the false Messiah. He is the Islamic equivalent of the Antichrist. According to Muhammad, this guy will be an impostor who claims to be the Messiah and to have divine powers. He will also be blind on one eye, and his eye will be hanging out like a grape.
Verse 18, this calls for wisdom. If anyone has insight, let him calculate the number of the beast, for it is a man's number. His number is 666.
He's blind in the right eye. It looks like a bulging grape.
The charagma will either be the number or the charagma will be the name of the beast, which will be tattooed on the foreheads of wicked people. Summarizing, we have two different places for the charagma: the right hand, the forehead. And we have two different charagmas: the number 666 and the name which the beast will use.
What is very funny is that the Muslims in Muhammad's time were expecting the Dajjal to come any time now. And he will dominate all the lands except Medina and Mecca. Obviously, Muhammad told this at a time where those cities were important to the existence of Muslims, whereas today they only serve as the cities that hold the holy sites.
He ordered the people of the world to make a great statue of the first beast, who was fatally wounded and then came back to life.
After deceiving humanity and making them follow him and worship him, the Dajjal will eventually be countered and killed by Jesus.
He deceived all the people who belong to this world. He ordered the people of the world to make a great statue of the first beast, who was fatally wounded and then came back to life.
The Quran also tells us that the moon will darken before it joins the sun. But the Quran teaches us that the sun and the moon will join one day, at the end of time. The Quran imagines it to look like this, when the sun and the moon join. When an eclipse happened in Muhammad's lifetime, he prayed for a long time. He was scared, and then told his people that this was a sign from Allah, that Allah does that to scare humans, and that we should pray when it happens.